Three Democrats are on the ballot in the race for governor this year. Two of them have spent considerable time in the state legislature. KOCO's Jason Berger met with these candidates to talk about where they stand on the issues.
I started my career with the Oklahoma Community Action Agency, an agency that helps people. I ultimately worked at the Oklahoma State Senate writing laws.
My background's in the nonprofit sector. I worked for the Girl Scouts of Western Oklahoma prior to running for office. Served 39 counties throughout Western Oklahoma, providing Girl Scout programming in low-income schools, detention facilities.
There are three candidates on the ballot for the 2026 Democratic gubernatorial race. Former State Senator Connie Johnson, State House Minority Leader Cindy Munson, and a man named Uriah. KOCO has tried to contact him many times in past weeks with no response. Both Munson and Johnson sat down with us to talk about why they wanted to enter the race.
With the Department of Corrections working with mothers who are incarcerated, reconnecting them with their daughters through Girl Scouts. And that experience really opened my eyes to what was happening in schools across our state, and also learning more about generational incarceration.
I knew the issues that were affecting the people in my community, incarceration, grandparents raising grandchildren, poor health outcomes, culturally competent health care, veterans.
Both candidates have had their fair share of experience when it comes to criminal justice reform in the state.
My personal experience has always been that when we kill someone, we take away the object of forgiveness.
Members, House Bill 2235 updates our wrongful conviction compensation amount. Yield for questions, move for adoption.
Criminal justice is one of the main focuses of Johnson's campaign. She described some of her work during her time in the state legislature, which included lowering prison populations and expanding rehab and treatment instead of incarceration.
Getting the governor out of the parole process for nonviolent offenders is one. Reducing the punishment for possession of any drug from a felony to a misdemeanor. We had people serving life without parole for a doobie.
While Munson also wants to address criminal justice reform and has during her time in the state's House of Representatives, her biggest focus, if elected, would be on the state's public education system and wants more funding all around for students.
We are 50th because of the lack of funding that we provide for our schools. We've got lower class sizes. We need to bring more counselors into our school buildings. We have to better support our support staff financially, so they need an increase in pay. Our teachers need an increase in pay.
And she wants to make sure Oklahoma can retain those teachers.
Since the time that I've been in the legislature, it's not just teachers fleeing the state of Oklahoma and going to Texas or other states that pay higher, but they're leaving their careers and going to other industries in Oklahoma. And so there's a lot of competition happening right now for those teachers.
Our public education system is broken. It's been highly politicized, and teachers have basically been thrown under the bus in terms of respecting their skills and what they bring to the table to help our children learn. We don't pay them properly, but our children are facing ever greater situations that are affecting their mental health, their behavioral health, not just their physical health.
Both Munson and Johnson agree that public education needs help in the state, but they put forth different ideas on how to create more funding. Munson says it's a combination of state funding and federal grants, but overall, better money management.
This last legislative session, nearly $500 million went to a Trump Dream account, went to private school vouchers, and went to a sovereign wealth fund that we cannot access funding for to use tax dollars that you and I pay for to provide services for the majority of Oklahomans.
Whereas Johnson says the state's cannabis industry could be a solution. She pushed for medical cannabis laws for years before the industry was legalized in 2018. She pointed to other states where revenue was set aside to help students and public education overall.
That could fund schools the same way they do in Colorado, where every child has a laptop. And our farmers, our agricultural community, could thrive as a result of just diving into the industrial cannabis space. My crowning story is legalizing medical cannabis. I looked around and I saw how veterans were having thousands of opioid prescriptions pushed on them. I saw how seniors with other diseases and conditions and children with epilepsy
The state's voter-approved Medicaid expansion from 2020 did not change during this last legislative session, despite proposed changes to the state's constitution and ballot measures floated earlier this year. But even with that in place, both candidates stressed the importance of health care and noted how rural areas are facing the most health care needs across Oklahoma.
What I'm seeing across the state as I travel is a number of rural healthcare facilities and services that are being cut, physicians that are leaving and not coming to the state of Oklahoma because of the instability of healthcare funding. So this is something that will be a priority for me.
Medicaid expansion. We have tremendous challenges with healthcare in Oklahoma, and people are going without care. They can't afford care. Care is not even available to them, especially in rural areas, in terms of our reproductive rights and our maternity needs. You look around again, and it's shameful what we're doing in Oklahoma.
Battling inflation, lowering cost of living expenses, and providing economic stability are all priorities for both of these candidates. But they both described different obstacles families face when trying to make ends meet.
We have to improve the economic opportunities for our families. When parents are working 2 or 3 jobs, it is really hard to, be at home and be present and read to our children, be able to spend the time that parents I know want to. But when they have bills to pay and they got to put food on the table and take care of their kids, they're grappling with financial stress that they have to deal with while also raising their children.
Johnson says the removal of the state's grocery tax helped families, but may have created bigger problems as a result.
Not only are people not having access to food, the ability of suppliers to even deliver it has been seriously hampered with the grocery tax. I believe that as people are trying to feed their families, their children are going hungry, school lunch debt is a real piece, and we have to be sober about those realities and propose new funding solutions.
We will have links for both of these candidates' campaigns on KOCO.com. Reporting for Oklahoma Chronicle, Jason Berger, KOCO 5 News.
Jason, thank you. The primary election is June 16th.